Well, welcome. I'm David Dinsmore, and we're on location in Boulder, Colorado for this show. It's a show about a journey, basically for the lost boys of Sudan. It's been said that all that's necessary for evil to prevail is for good people to do absolutely nothing. Sudan, formerly known as the largest country in Africa until 2011, when South Sudan became the newest country in Africa, has had terrible civil wars the last 50 years, last half century, since their independence from Britain in 1956. The first civil war was roughly 1956 to 1972, and then again a second civil war in 1983 to 2005. Over 2 million people have lost their lives. Parents of young children have lost their lives. Sisters have been sold into slavery. And the young boys that survived made an amazing 5-year walk towards Kenya, traveling the eastern African plains. 3,000 young boys became part of the largest resettlement in American history. Sudan is a snapshot in time of how terrible other people can be towards human beings. The Sudanese people struggled to survive the genocide that their country became a part of. There's another side of the story, how seemingly basic, everyday people from across the world have stepped up to make a difference in any way they can, to offer a hand, a heart, or hope to another human being. I'm joined today by a very special lady who was inspired one day to make a difference. Her life has been changed, and as well as those of the lives that she's touched through the years. Jean, or how she is more commonly known by the boys and the now new young families that they call her Mama Jean, is a former triathlete, a world-class competitive triathlete, an avid and active golfer, a master swimmer, a former high school teacher, and someone that still actively works to make ends meet day to day. Thank you so much for being with us today. So, to begin with, how in the world did you ever come to know the Lost Boys of Sudan?
It all started with a special I saw on TV, a 60-minute special on the Lost Boys of Sudan. That's how it all started. Mm-hmm. And I saw it and my heart just went out to these boys and the stories that I heard, and I just felt this tug on my heart to help. And I found they were coming to Colorado, and so I started calling around and calling people and asking how to get involved to help them. My church and my place of work, people just started helping me. And an attorney came on board at the time who helped me set up a nonprofit organization for them called the Colorado Friends of the Lost Boys of Sudan. And over the years, we helped them with their education, connecting them with mentors from all around Colorado, friends. Over the years, it just blossomed. Mm-hmm. Once they heard the story, and that was back in 2000, 2001. I've been with them for 15 years now, 16 mm-hmm. years, going on 16 years. And it just mushroomed. People started hearing and helping all over. So over the years, they've made lots of friends, mm-hmm. Teachers, mentors. Lots and lots of people have come on board to help them.
Colorado's allocation of the boys were here?
There were about maybe a little over 60 at the time.
Okay.
60 guys. Really in Boulder there maybe were 10 or so. So the highest concentration was really Denver. Mm-hmm.
So the boys were older as far as they were young men, basically, when they were coming on.
We called them the Lost Boys Found Men.
Right. Okay, right.
And now as the guys have gotten their education, many of them became U.S. citizens. They graduated mm-hmm. from colleges. Many of them are well on their way to, careers and supporting their own families. Now they have children, mm-hmm. like Iraq. His children are primarily in Kenya. Mm-hmm. Several are here in Boulder. Some are in Denver. And so they all just know me as Mama Jean, and I feel now, like with their children, they just know me as Grandma. This is Iraq Garang, and he was one of the first Lost Boys to come to Colorado, and one of the first that I met. And he graduated from University of Denver, CU, University of Denver, and
Great.
now has 4 children in Kenya. And he's a real leader. He was instrumental right from the beginning of organizing and helping me with the other guys, helping us with fundraising, helping us on our board. He was one of the key leaders, and always has been and still is one of the key leaders of the group, of the Lost Boys and the Found Men.
Life, when we first came here, life was not that easy. But thank God that Mom Jean came in. So we get in a group over the weekend and talk about life and help each other. For example, when we first came here, the government supported us for 3 months. Then after
In
that,
the U.S.?
In the U.S., and then we have to go on our own. During that time, most of us didn't have jobs. So what I did was we called a meeting whereby we talk to each other. It's like if I have a job and the rest of the people don't have a job, we stay together and I pay the rent until. So that was also a way that.
So you called everybody together, all your group.
Yeah.
You had a job, not many other people did.
Yeah.
And then you shared resources and
Yes.
you made a vision and a plan.
Yes, not only me, there were some others like my cousin Kur. He also find a job. So what we did, those who have jobs, we make sure that we stick together. And after we all get job and get opportunity to go to school, we also stay together to save some money to help to support our relatives back home. We don't have food to eat,
Right.
and we were just in a refugee camp. So that way we save some money, not only to go to school here, but also to support our relatives, our families back in Africa.
And I'll just interject.
Yeah.
They still do that. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's good.
these guys, they stick together. Over the years, I've learned when they meet together because somebody's in trouble, or somebody needs help, or somebody needs money, they always contribute their own money to help. Because not every story has been a success story. And when a guy is in trouble, I mean, we've had instances, I mean, there's PTSD, of course. There's some guys who have fallen into alcoholism. There's some guys who have, I mean, we have one guy that was shot. He's paralyzed from the waist down. Was taken for a drug dealer. Another Sudanese family with a guy with children killed. Some of our guys have been beat up. But these guys come together and help each other. And in cases of, we have one boy now who I was very close to also, who's in Sudan because the guys felt necessary to raise enough money to send him back to Sudan, and he's the second one, to kind of meet with his family and hopefully get him away from the I don't know how to say it, the perils of this life in America, all the stuff that you have, and go back and try to gather himself. And then when they decide, then he will come back to America. But I've learned over the years to leave things up to them now.
Okay, good.
They have what I call
Their
them
process.
I call them the Sudanese powwows because they're powwows. They meet and they decide, and I now defer. I will. In the beginning, I would kind of try to put my own or others' values on what I thought they should be doing. But over the years, I've learned they know what's best for each other, and I defer to whatever they decide about their own brothers and families.
You've had, your role has changed so much.
Yeah.
Like an amoeba changing shape
Yeah.
through the years. And now a true letting go role.
Yeah, truly.
But so wise because they know
They know
in
what's best.
a deep, innate way.
Right.
Yeah.
What's best for their brothers, what's best for their children. What I just kind of defer to that.
Mhm.
Yeah.